Well, here we are at the T Creek, one of the T Creek trailheads at T Creek Campgrounds. We did a little fly fishing, but it wasn't very successful. So we decided we're going to do some hiking here before we go out and gather some wood for tonight's fires, tonight's warm heating. So here we are coming up to T Creek Bridge here, the little hiking bridge that they built across the T Creek water here, where it's fly fishing only, or catch and release only, I should say. It's a native brook trout stream, so the fishes won't be that big. Well, they don't want you falling over. People ride bicycles too, probably. There's T Creek. So it's quite a ways up there. It's a pretty wide creek. More like a river, but I've never been up, and one of these days I'm going to go up that way. And
how do you guys like my hat?
Hold on. Right there's where it goes into the Williams River down that way. So there's Caitlin again. So, and we're going to head on down that way and see what we can find, or see what we see. We had seen a bald eagle earlier today, but didn't get a chance to get a picture of it because it flew away. I accidentally spooked it, so it flew away.
Now we're going to take a picture of it.
And she was going to take a picture of it and put it on Facebook, or not Facebook, Facebook and maybe her YouTube channel, but so. See, people come out here mountain bike. As you can see, there's tire tracks. More people come out here mountain biking. This one here follows along the river of Williams River, so let's see what we see here. Who knows? Oh, we got a trailhead. We got a trail marker here. Let's see what we says here. Okay. We got a trail sign here. Let me take a shot of that trail sign here. Fortunately, she doesn't have boots on, so she's walking on. I'm getting too old to be climbing hills again. We've got the T Creek Mountain Trail. If you go up that hill, the North Face Trail is 1.3 miles. And then the Scenic Highway, if you keep going that same way, is 4.6 miles. Huh. I think we'll stay down in the low spot and follow the Williams River. Okay, I'm going down this way.
Be careful when you sit down.
Uh-huh.
Dang it.
It's a little bit muddy right there. Oh, it's a bit muddy here too. I think most of this mud is because of the frost we had last night too. Might be a spring coming up right there. Yeah. Looks like that's just saying what the T Creek Trail is, Caitlin. There's several things on that, so. There's several of them there. So I think we're following that yellow line right there.
Yeah. And then we take the brown one, and then
that's a long walk. I don't know if you want to walk at it. It takes hours to walk, so we just walk a little ways down this way and we'll come back. 'Cause like I said, it's winter time, so
or we could walk up to the. Or did we already pass that?
We probably passed that. So, there's an old drain right through here. Oh, crossing another bridge. Woohoo!
Bridge after bridge.
Yeah, I don't want you falling down that little drain right there. Looks like they had a tree down over here. Birch tree fell.
If we came down here, we'd be able to go on the trail, would we?
Uh-huh.
Like that?
Yeah, that's probably heavy there. I'm already tired.
Hey, we're just going with the people in the leaves you watch. Here, Dad.
Okay.
Right there?
Yeah. Yeah, we watch Adventure Archives. Two brothers and a cousin, I believe, out of Ohio there.
And shout out to them.
So shout out to Brian Lynn, Andrew Lynn, and is it Tommy?
We're not quite sure what their names are.
I can't remember the last guy's name. That's bad. But I watch them all the time. They're good. They've been out here a few times, many times. So, if you guys like hiking and backpacking, they're pretty good. He's the one named Andrew Lynn. He's very knowledgeable about trees and plants and stuff. So. Give them a look out when you do you're looking around on YouTube. Well, so far this trail's basically paralleling Williams River, but we're a good distance away. To my right there. Got a mixed hardwood, softwood trees. See what I look like might be oak, some ash, birch, and some cedar trees. Now the trail looked like it kind of wheezed around on this flat here for a little bit.
Hey, over there wasn't flat.
Oh, we call it a flat on the hillside. A little more or less level spot on a hill.
I believe we have like one or two on our hill.
Huh?
I believe we have one, two
Yeah.
on our hill.
Yep.
So we are around.
We're probably right in there somewhere.
Close to the field.
Uh-huh.
too. I don't know why, but my neck just caused me a trip for some reason.
Oh, well, yeah. Ground's uneven. Oh, I heard something in the woods. That might be a squirrel. I think it was a squirrel. Well, we're running some deer tracks right here. She's got her finger in it. That's the back end of the deer track, and the front end's up the other end. All right, move your hand. And there's another set come back the opposite direction. Looked like maybe doe or young ones. Here's another one right back here behind by my foot there by that rock. So
Probably mama, baby.
could be. All right. And continuing on down the trail. That's kind of interesting. A little mountain laurel growing right out of the top of a big old flat rock. Along with another tree. I'm not sure what kind of tree that one is.
Okay, it's rather us on the hill.
Tea Creek.
Yeah.
So.
I'm still recording.
Well, folks, right over there is the Williams River. I barely can see it through all this brush. Let me see if maybe I can zoom in. Yep, I'm zoomed in as best I could. But maybe you can see the light reflecting in between the trees. That's the Williams River. It's fishing year-round. And it has trout in it that the state stocks, and then they got some native brook trout and some of the side streams that flow into it, and even in the Williams River. But there's a, like I said earlier in the day on one of the other videos I posted, is a fly fishing only, catch and release. You got to use a barbless hook and no live bait or anything, artificial flies, lures. And but we tried there for a little bit, but I didn't have any luck. And a trout there usually holds over all year round, so. Oh. Yeah, now here's the Williams River. Probably get a good view of it right on up the road here, up the trail here. There it is. Yeah. I mean, it's one beautiful river. And it's cold. It's cold. And it was pretty cold even in the summertime. So.
And I also thought, ain't fall supposed to be the season before winter? I just thought that.
And there's the river. I was hoping I'd see some trout in there so I can get a video of it showing what, trout in a natural wild river, But
Nope.
haven't been able to spot one yet. Man, there's a nice big log I'd love to have.
Yeah, but it's not too big.
Yeah, just a little bit too big.
A little.
Might drag that one out, I don't know. It's been on the ground for a while, so it's probably soaked up pretty good with water. Yeah.
What about that one?
I don't have no way to drag it, Caitlin. Ah, there's the river.
The beautiful river.
And I wish I could live stream this, but the problem is we're in an area where there is no cell service at all.
Yeah.
So
you won't be able to get like the live stream of this.
yeah. Oh, holy. Oh, I do believe this is. Yeah. That's a nice little swimming type hole here. Whoa, whoa, oh, little muddy. your phone, whatever that knife, Caitlin. You dropped your knife. I have her bring a knife just in case we need it. Even though I got one on me, so. But yeah, this looks like a nice little fishing hole here and a swimming hole. Sorry for the washout in the sun, but I'm facing. Now, not all Williams River is boulders, rock bottom. There's a section on up the road here where the scenic highway crosses over. It's called Deadwater because it's just like a regular, look like a regular flowing river, you know, that you see like the Ohio River, Kanawha River, or one of these slow rivers. So, but these natural mountain rivers like this, they're all boulder stream, you know, so they got their little highs and lows and things like that. So I wish I could still see a trout, but I don't see none in the river. They suppose, like I said, stocked it in late October, but they may not have stocked a whole bunch, or they may not have stocked up in here. So, or the fish are just kind of hiding low. So, never know. I'm still looking, but I don't see any trout here. But let me take a step over here. See if maybe I see something here, because I seen something gold. But it's the way this sun is sitting low in the sky right now, I can't get a good view of anything. And of course it's washing out my video, so the sun's washing out this video. Get up here in the shade, maybe that'll help. There we go. Mountain laurel right next to the river here. As far as I can see, still ain't nothing. So, well, we're going to head on down a little bit more and see what else we see before we head on back. Alright, here's looking back to where we just came. That's called, trout fishermen usually call that flat water, especially fly fishermen, because it's smooth, it's not very rough or swift flowing like right up here. See how all that water's flowing right there, and then as we get further up, it gets a bit more bouldery and narrow. So that's called, you know, swift water. Yeah. All right. We can't. She's got a. Oh, she can walk underneath it. I have to crawl underneath it. I bet when it's raining and water comes pouring off of that hillside right there with that little waterfall type thing. Oh, if you've never been up the Williams River, you should come up, because up along the road there, the Williams River Road, there's several waterfalls that's coming off the hillside. It's, you know, very pretty. And there's several camping spots there that are numbered. Of course, you have to camp in the numbered spots, but some are free and some are $5 a piece. And then there's the ones where you camp basically in like T Creek campground area, or the Day Run where we're at, because I like it pretty much. It's $8 a night, so it's a reasonable price. You can fit in there probably like a 22 foot camping trailer. I see them hauling into like one of those fifth wheel types. So here's another mountain stream coming in. I would make a guess that there is a natural brook trout stream, but I've never fished it, so I can't guarantee it. And of course, here's a nice little deep little pool, maybe a little swift, but you know, trout kind of tend to hang in those tail ends of it, or just out behind a rock, or just a little ways behind the rock, or in front of a rock, even beside a rock, just to catch whatever's floating down. So now that might be pretty productive during the spring months when the bugs are out. That's when I usually do my fishing, but I've never fished in the fall till now. And I've been fishing ever since I could hold a pole and cast. And that's been like about 40, almost 40 years ago. So I'm 51 now, so and like I said, see how it gets more rocky and narrow up ahead? That's typical of these mountain rivers. So shut her off for now, and we'll catch up to you later. Here's another good little pool I do believe that might hold some trout. It's kind of tricky, but I believe there might be something in there, but it's kind of so swift, can't really tell. But they kind of like to hang around that kind of stuff right there. And then as you look farther up, it gets a little shallower, but there might be a pocket or two that hold fish or something, you know. And okay, there she goes on up the trail. Here's something that's interesting. A little natural stream drain coming off the mountain up top there. Bet you there's a stream or something up high, or a spring, and that's where all this water's coming down from. Now it flows down, I believe, into a culvert, because it's, or it might be flowing actually across the water here, around here, because you can see it flowing somewhat. So and right up here's another one of these stream here. Well, it's right up there, and up there is some water coming off. So I figured there's a big spring up there, and it's just draining down the mountain. It's coming down. There's a little bitty waterfall right there, flowing down the hill off this bank right there. And down across the road, or across this trail. And it actually is flowing several different directions here. Yeah. As you can see, it's coming down that rock, and how it's over the years and millions of years, it kind of smoothed it out a little bit, made a little trail of it. So. A lot of these springs there feeds us. May not be a whole lot of water coming out of them, but they do feed the rivers. And that's what makes them cold, because they're coming out of the mountain, deep within that mountain. So it's nice and cool, cold water. So we're going to now see how dramatically it's changing here. So it got rocks. Everywhere you see a little riffle, it's got a rock, some sort of rock obstruction that's even underwater, that's forming these little riffles and little white water. So the water doesn't have, the rocks don't have to be above the water to cause these little riffles. Oh, here we go, another steep spring here. This whole mountainside right here is draining water. So, and of course it's coming down here and draining, as you can see right here. See it coming off right there. It's probably coming out from underneath this rock right there. Now I bet you in the wintertime this thing freezes over and looks pretty. Now, here comes some more water. See how it drains down this little drainage here? Flows right down and seeps into the river. Yeah, that's some kind of drainage coming out of the hillside where it's got a spring or something. That whole rock face right there is completely soaked. That whole rock face right there. So.
Taking a little break.
Okay.
I'm gonna move up to that rock so I can have somewhere to sit.
I think we're almost to the scenic highway. I think I see a bridge abutment. Not sure. But that's about where Deadwater starts. So I'm going to walk there. She's going to sit for a few minutes, and I'm going to walk a little ways down there and show it to you. Nice, like I said, beautiful stream, beautiful river. You just got to find out where the trout are at, and hopefully they're biting. Now, they closed all the campgrounds, I believe, and closed the road because it's not a plowed road if they don't service it during the wintertime. Same with the scenic highway. Once the snow hits, they shut the road down to all traffic. Now, I've never been up Williams River in the wintertime when there's snow. But I did one time go on the scenic highway, and it was open at the time, but it was in mid-April, May at the time, and they still had several feet of snow on top. But since it's not a main road, they do not plow it. The state does not plow it, nor does the game wardens or the park rangers or whatever. Yep, we are coming up to the scenic highway. Now, over on to my right is where the main road is that you travel up. Now, when I first started coming out here, it was gravel road. But then after a while, I quit coming up here because I just didn't have the time or the money type stuff. Eventually I started coming back out here now with my daughter, since she's old enough to come with me, and she seemed to be enjoying it now. But by then they done blacktopped it, so. But now, since that flooding hems,
still a little bit of it.
They've got a few places where it washed out, so they had to rebuild it with gravel and stuff. And maybe eventually they'll blacktop it, those little missing sections. But other than that, it's still a fun trip out here. I came out here during the summer. I wanted to come out here during the fall when the leaves were changing colors, because you get up on that scenic highway, you can see for miles, and I bet they have some good overlooks that you could get some beautiful shots of the fall foliage, all the different colors, with farms and farm buildings in out there amongst all the colors. So, all right, we'll stop here until we get a little closer to the scenic highway overpass. I'm gonna show you something here. Probably won't show up good on this camera, but that is one steep hillside. I'm more or less looking almost straight up at it. I hate to fall down that thing, because it is almost straight up. Actually, it is straight up, more or less. Oh, man. Now, this is one big tree that fell across the pathway here, and I think they come out here and cut it out so that they keep the trail open. But there's what it fell off of. Looked like it got hollow. It was a hollowed out quite a ways up that part, and strong wind or whatever comes falling down. So you can see how thick that tree is. That's got to be a really, really old tree. And there's the section they cut out of it. Yep. Oh, she is standing up next to it on the ground. So, and she's about 5 foot, 3 or 4, something like that. So.
Say 5 foot something. 5'1".
And here's the big chunks that they cut out of it. Look at that. That is one big tree.
Look how pumpy this piece is.
Yep.
It goes up to here.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, there's the Williams River.
Oh,
You see how it kind of splits a little bit. They got just water, because of all that flooding, just concentrated everything in one spot and dug out a new trail out. Bless you. Here's a little backwater where that tree's kind of blocked it up, but still water's going underneath it. Now there might be some trout in there, but I kind of doubt it.
Oh, and guys, if you see like the spots on my face, don't worry. I got like medicine for that, so don't worry about it.
Some kind of skin rash she's got all of a sudden. Of course, she's, like I said, diabetic, so they tend to have these kind of problems. Her skin just dries out, so she's got to put that stuff on her.
Because I put lotion on, because I put healing lotion on it and
Vaseline.
Vaseline.
So it's just her, like I said, her skin just drying out faster than she can replenish it. So there's, like I said, part of the, that's the side channel, and the main river's on the other side of that island right there. And see how I said when it split it? Now there are also some like creek chubs or smallmouth bass type things, rock bass, in this river also. So, but it's usually a natural trout stream, or trout river. Now, I think back in the old days we had a lot of problem with acid mine drainage, so kind of poisoned the river. But we did the state has done a tremendous job of trying to get it back to fishable condition for the past 40 years or so. Yep. And there is the Scenic Highway. Now the Scenic Highway runs all the way from Elk River area, which is around Snowshoe, Elk River, down that way from the left, and it runs from the north and runs all the way south or west or whatever it is. I've done lost my direction now, but it follows along the mountain, gives you scenic views all the way around, and it comes out down at the Cranberry Glades Visitor Center. And the Cranberry Glades is a good place to visit because you see plants and things that you would only see up along the Arctic or Canadian wilderness. And of course, right there is the scenic bridge. And then just ahead of us, we'll get up there. I'll show you where Deadwater is, or what we call Deadwater, because it's slow moving. I'll show you what we call it, Deadwater. And I don't see any trout right now. I thought I might see some because there's usually 1 or 2 in this area.
Oh, geez, my neighbor just wants to trip me.
Because you're walking without looking. Now, there's a nice deep pool right there. Now during the summer and spring it's kind of growed up, so it's kind of hard to get to it. But
hey guys,
usually you can see them real good.
Right now my dad is like recording, so
now there's a nice deep pool right here that might be holding some trout because it splits off a little bit from the main river, but because that main island right there in the middle. But From this vantage point right now, I can't see it. It looks pretty deep.
Hold on.
So, who knows?
And also, probably like.
Now, there's the other upper end of that deep pool. Now, the water does flow there, but it's not flowing as bad like on or fast as like on the other side of that little island break right there. I've never been on this side, so this is new to me. So, but there's usually water. There's usually trout out in that area right over there, where it goes around the other side. That's somewhat deep there. There's usually trout and other fish hanging around in there. And right there is the scenic highway, dead water kind of rest area. It's got a little gazebo you can fish off of. And now we're coming into the dead water area. I hope I got it. If not, we'll just have to do it again when I get a chance. Huh?
Sorry, is it back?
Yeah, I'll go hit that.
Oh, geez, why does that look like dinosaur backs?
Where?
Right there.
I don't know.
The roots are that big.